OLED monitors are getting dangerously close to normal monitor prices, and that's creating a massive problem for the entire monitor industry because now people are asking a question that monitor companies probably didn't want us asking yet. Why would anyone still buy an IPS monitor? Sure, there's the point that the most affordable $100 to $150 monitors are still a thing for budget-conscious people. But what about the mid-range gaming IPS monitors? Why would anyone in a plain conscious state of mind want to buy an IPS instead of an OLED if they're both at the same prices? From about 2024 to now, OLED monitors stopped being a sort of monopoly of LG and Dell, and some other manufacturers started joining the crew. Now, two good things came out of this. One, some more budget-centric brands started implementing OLED monitors in their catalogs, like AOC and Acer, which gave us more options. And two, it created competition. With competition, all prices tend to drop to match supply, and some previously unlikely things start to happen, like this LG monitor dropping its prices heavily to below the average of its other competitors. Or this AOC monitor is getting close to $300 flat during a deal. But despite all this hype, OLED still comes with some really annoying problems, and depending on the kind of user you are, some of these issues might completely ruin the experience for you. First, there is the dreaded burn-in issue, and while there are a lot of features manufacturers have come up with to tackle that problem, some people just don't want the hassle of babysitting the monitor for years so that it doesn't burn away the $300 plus spent, while others think it's worth the hassle because of how good OLED looks. But regardless of where you sit in this scenario, we all can agree that burn-in is not something to be disregarded. Next is how bad glossy and QD OLED are specifically in a bright room. And we have to agree on this one thing here. Most of us use the monitor during the day as well, and those purplish blacks really become annoying at some point. And then you may think, well, just buy a WOLED then, but then you have to put up with gray banding, so even though we have more than 4 generations at this point, OLED is still far from being a perfect panel type. But of course, that doesn't mean it can't get there at some point. So here are the most exciting updates we should expect for OLED in the coming months or years. In 2026, tandem OLEDs started becoming a major thing in gaming monitors. Instead of using a single light-emitting layer, tandem OLEDs started using multiple layers instead, which helps with basically most of the issues that OLEDs have. It improves brightness, helps with burn-in in the long run, and improves the efficiency and lifespan of the monitors. Now, that's huge because brightness was one of the strongest downsides of OLEDs. They were, for the most part, pretty mediocre to use in a bright room. But now, with tandem technology, not only can they get brighter, but highlights also pop more, which means that HDR becomes even better. If HDR on OLEDs didn't look amazing before, now with Tandem and HDR 500, it looks awesome in person. At the same time that WOLEDs got a huge upgrade with the Tandem tech, QD OLEDs did as well, with the new 4th Gen QD OLEDs. Compared to the 3rd Gen, 4th Gen QD OLEDs now reduce one of their biggest issues, the purplish blacks in bright rooms. Now QD OLEDs have finally gotten past that bad reputation. On top of that, Samsung started implementing penta-tandem layers, which help with luminosity and improve the lifespan of the monitor in terms of burn-in. Samsung also announced V-striped subpixel layouts to improve another one of the biggest QD OLED issues, poor text clarity. As for LG's WOLEDs, they released the tandem OLEDs we've talked about before, which also indirectly help with colors, and now colors are a bit more vibrant than before. They also improved the black stability and anti-reflection features, and now WOLED is indistinguishably superior to QD OLEDs to use in a bright room. It doesn't even compare. Also, HDR is superior to QD OLEDs because of the higher brightness and highlights. On top of that, they started catering towards the esports niche and implementing some high refresh rate panels with 720Hz dual mode. Now, WOLEDs still have one of the biggest deal-breaker downsides, the gray banding. So what seemed like something that would place it ahead of its competition ended up being just another step to keep them both at the same level. On top of that, manufacturers started implementing more aggressive anti-burn-in features to help ease that babysitting we have to do with our OLEDs. But in the end, they still carry more long-term risk for heavy static professional workloads. So basically, in the next few years, that's exactly how OLEDs will improve. Both QD OLEDs and WOLEDs will get brighter, and more anti-burn-in features will start emerging. WOLEDs will for sure have new features to improve color coverage, And QD OLEDs will still try to improve text fringing and the black clarity issue they have in bright rooms. But of course, along with that, prices will probably start to rise for the newer gens. Just don't let all these good things fool you. Most monitors that are getting cheaper nowadays are still from older generations, so you still have the low color volume and matte W OLEDs, as well as the poor text clarity and purple blacks with QD OLEDs. Unfortunately, the only way not to get that and still pay less nowadays is by getting a mini LED instead. Mini LED is great right now because you can get deep blacks with an IPS panel, for example. And sure, while the blacks are not as deep, you won't have the text fringing and brightness issues you'd face with OLEDs, and they are way cheaper than OLEDs, of course. Now, the closest blacks to OLED you'll get from Mini LED is if you buy a VA Mini LED with lots of dimming zones. But then you'd have to put up with black smearing, so there are still a few caveats to take into account here. So in the end, at this point in time, there's really no perfect panel. Every single one has benefits and downsides, either in price, features, or things specific to the users themselves. But let me ask you one thing. If you had a limitless budget and could choose any panel right now, which one would it be? Let me know. If your answer still ends up being OLED, check my best OLED monitor list here. And also, don't forget to follow me on X for daily monitor deals. Thank you a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.